I'm Carlo from Schneidersladen. The whole thing started maybe 17, 18 years ago. It's the company of Andreas Schneider, who started to come to Berlin and worked for Yomox and recognized there that there are more manufacturers like Yomox, MFB, Döpfer, etc. who make and produce amazing, nice gear, but on the same time, people didn't know them very much. So, and then for Andreas and the first Schneidersladen, which was actually called Schneider's Büro, was a little one-man shop in the middle of Berlin, which started then as a one-man office and having the first machines, and then slowly it growed. It came to the first trade shows, but it was till Schneidersladen, I think, was involved 2010, which is just a store, you know. So, but the thing of Andreas Schneider is a bit more. So you have Schneidersladen, you have Alex 4, and you have now the Superbooth. And this is Alex 4 is distributing. Schneidersladen serves the end customer, and is probably it's the oldest route of this in a way. And now you have Superbooth also, people who organize the Superbooth. This came originally from Schneider's Büro making trade shows at Frankfurt Messe, which were called Superbooth. And then 3 years ago we decided to do our own trade show because it made more sense to meet the people in Berlin and having everything here.
It looks like more a community. It looks like not a typical music shop, but more like a community.
Yeah, it was also, I mean, the communication and the community aspect is very much important. Also the thing that we really want that people play here, you know, not that they'll just come and say like, yo, I want to have this or this, and you say like, yeah, it's under the vitrine. No, we really want that people check stuff out. We really want to have that people find something where they're happy with, and if they don't find something where they're happy is, that they don't have to be forced to buy in it, because and that doesn't make sense if you have an unhappy customer in a way, because you just wanted to sell him something and he was just in the mood, I need to buy something. And anyway, this whole modular thing is something where you normally grow a little bit in. So often you start with a little system and then you expand a little bit more, and so it's not normally it's not a super fast thing. So you learn it a bit, maybe people coming from desktop synthesizers, maybe people learned on Reactor or other software, and then slowly sort of like, wow, I would like to have it touched, or I like the sound a bit more, or I want to have maybe not a computer on stage anymore or something like that. Or they say I take the computer and do recording, but I want to have a musical instrument which I can feel and where the haptic is different and where the sound is on demand or not on demand if you don't know how to patch. And where you maybe have another learn effect as well. So where it's not I save presets and play them all, so you really have to think how you go from one step to one step. And the whole thing anyway is like really teaching you how a modular synthesizer works, or how a normal synthesizer works. Because when you have a desktop, it's all in one flow, and with the Eurorack stuff you also have to learn every little segment. But the funny thing is, like, you can interact, you can change the segments in between. You can say, okay, I have this line now, what happens if I put another reverb in, what happens if I put another granular sampler in or something like this. So the whole thing anyway becomes much more open in the last years. When I came to Schneidersladen, it was still a very analog thing, so it musted to be analog, and it was really important. Yeah, analog, and maybe there are only one or two people who were like harvestmen and one or two other guys who had digital stuff. But now it's because of the people who are using software and anything, it's anyway much more open, and people have controllers, pedal guys coming now and saying, oh, our pedal has a CV input as well, so I can plug my LFO from my modular system and change my guitar wah sound on demand and have it maybe, you know, connected with whatever. So this is something which is the last years where there was a real big development on different kind of music manufacturers who came together. The one says I make controller, the other thing people say I make just drum modules, the other people say like we just use triggering stuff or modifying stuff, and so it comes together. And then the same is with the client, because you have the people who say like, okay, I want to build up a normal synth with 3 oscillators, blah 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 blah, but the other guy is saying like, hey, I want to have something really unique for my guitar, or I need an outboard effect, but I put a bit different things in and I want to have it controlled on a different level. Or the other say like, I want to have a drum machine and a synthesizer and whatever coming, because I want to have it all in one big block and taking it with me. So that's...
So this entire Eurorack world begins very with analog, and now I think it's become more and more interesting because now the digital is more and more there.
It's interesting.
And it's more open.
It's more open. The community got bigger, of course, because now you have, like I said, like you have the people from guitar playing, the pedal guys coming. You have also people from also you recognize it's way more into the music now. So like a hip hop producer comes also and says like, okay, I want to have maybe a little modular setup because I want to have this kind of bass drum for some tracks or anything like this. You know?
What I see in your shop, you have a lot of stuff, more unknown companies.
Yeah.
So want to be also a platform for more unknown companies?
It always started to be way more for little manufacturer. So I mean the whole modular thing is still not a huge money making thing. Now it's getting a bit more important, and now it's getting a bit more materialistic or getting a bit more into business. But when it started, they were all freaks. They were little manufacturer. Like I think really in the beginning it was not really about making money. It was really about making a weird product or something where you say, I wanted to always build that, and hey, maybe some other people are interested as well. And then you can say like, okay. And then the other manufacturer came and said like, hey, this is cool. I have something which could fit to it. And so it developed. It was much more. It was a concurrentship, but it was a nice concurrentship. And it's still at the Superbooth. Nearly all the manufacturers know each other by seeing over the years. So it's, you know who you speak to, you know a bit what the other people do. It's not always about like, this guy is just making this, so I make it another bigger. It's more about better than bigger, you know. Still, I mean, it's like, of course, it's improved all, but it came all from little manufacturers, and the big manufacturers, they anyway have platforms. So that was Schneidersladen and Andreas Schneider's intention. It was always bring little manufacturers together, because you have Roland, Korg, everything. They're having houses and they're everywhere. And even now they start to go into desktop synths, modular synths, and well, anyway, can be.
The biggest success now to the end, or is made the Superbooth.
Yeah.
So the result of everything of this work is now the Superbooth, the big result.
Exactly. But the Superbooth also is, when you be there, it's of course about gear. It's about trade showing. It's about anything. I think for lots of people also it's the community, the feeling. So you go over the trade show without having the feeling that you are on a trade show. For me, this is a total relief. No, I'm seeing people who haven't met maybe since 10 years, and then they think like, okay, we met the first time when we were studying together or made our first DIY synth project or something. This is something very unique and very nice. And the other way, you have a very educating aspect. So we have lots of workshops. We're doing workshops for kids. There are also lots of old manufacturers coming, or older ones or more experienced ones, and telling and giving their knowledge further in a way. There are also musicians, experienced ones, unexperienced ones, who just share their experience and their moments together.
It's a convention for young and old. Yeah, it's more. It's not like a trade show where everything's only business and
exactly.
It's for everyone. And the Schneidersladen is situated in Berlin, in the center of Berlin. What you can maybe also hear in the video here. So
Now it's nice and
now it's
now it's nice, and we're in the back of our shop. So now it's nice because you don't hear the 20,000 cars driving around and all the people shouting like "Wah!" and the mess. But it's in the middle of Kreuzberg, yes. And but it was always central. But here on this place we are since 2009. Before, Andreas has been in a small street close to here, but not very long. Before that it was directly at Alexanderplatz. Before that it was at close to the Ostbahnhof in an old GDR newspaper building, which was also very interested and yeah, but it was always a good spot, I have to say.
maybe have a look inside.
Yeah, we can have a look inside. Now we are 2 meters further in the shop. So we have here our little kind of office entrance, our storage, which we have a bit separate now. So we have a smaller storage here and a bigger storage outside, which was important to knock down some walls, because here was an office and we are always very famous for rebuilding every couple of months the whole shop a little bit. But we wanted to have the showroom bigger again and make it a bit more open. So now we have a bit bigger desktop area with the Haken Continuum, the Soma, a bit 5HE from New Modular, the Minimoog, and Vermona, of course, a little corner with the old organ and some desktop stuff.
Very old, more the Vermona, yeah?
It's a very old organ, but nice wood. And the wood, you know, is still there.
Still works?
Yeah, of course, it still works. Maybe here and there a little scratchy pody, but of course it works.
More interesting digital stuff also, like I see the granular, the new granular synth there.
That's still the I think the last prototype before it comes really out now.
So you are open for both worlds. So
of
you
course.
have not only an analog fetishism here, but it's really digital also.
No, now, like I said before, it changed quite a lot. I mean, I still liked to work with the analog stuff, but of course you have totally different possibilities sound-wise, etc. with any kind. And in the end, it's like, what are you doing with it? You know, it's like if you get some good result out of it, then actually this is the most important. It's not to make a fetish.
It's not only that we see here now very expensive stuff, but you have also affordable stuff. It's from every region, from left to the right.
Of course, yeah. We don't want to be the boutique just price-wise or something. We rather be in a boutique in having things which are not always everywhere. So this is a bit more. We really like to support small brands coming out, because they have new ideas. They have a long way to go, and it's on the other way really nice to see how those people grow and work together. And of course we have stuff we worked with since years and we are happy with, and we're very happy with the manufacturers and everything. But of course the whole scene is very much growing and still changing, and I hope still changing in a good way. So I think that is what you said before, the community aspect. This is still one of the important things. It's not just about selling, about money. It's about people who have a passion and want to make a nice product which also lasts, you know, nothing which is like you should touch it, but you should also have the feeling that it works the next 5 years or 10 years, you know, that it's not like something you buy and then you throw it away because you don't like the sound anymore or something like this. So it's more a valuable thing, you know. Then here's normally the other little entrance, and then when you have a little look out, then you see the nice Cottbusser Tor. And you don't even have to be afraid that it's coming down the rain, because you're safe. And then here is the bit more modular room.
And how many manufacturers you're fitting at the
I would have to search it for. It's really lots. It's
over 150 possibly.
yeah, I think easy.
And you have East Coast, West Coast, you do near everything.
Don't mind that much if it's east or west. I mean, that is something everyone has to figure out by himself how he would like to work. Or I mean, the combination can be also very nice. So yeah, I mean, I think the most important is often to go for the sound, you know, and then you see how you make it, or if you're easy, or if you can easy access your sound, you know, and be happy with it.
And I see you sell also some video synthesis.
Yeah, we slowly start with it. We started with it a couple of years before, but the run was very slow. And now it's getting a bit more hyped again, and now the video
The complete new direction.
comes in, yeah, but you can, I mean, you have easy access to manipulate it in real time and things like this. And it's nice, you know, like when you want to have a little, when you want to have a little fast changing video on the end, you can maybe trigger it. You don't need expensive modules for it. You can do it with some cheap LFOs, VCOs, and yeah, or maybe just, you know, take it directly from the modular system and give 3 cables over and then just put it in. You know?
So you get people not only from the music side, but also from the art side, from the
Exactly.
visual.
Exactly, yeah.
And I heard that you're making also workshops.
We do in workshops now, and then we come to we always made workshops in here. But now that is another thing why we rebuilt lots of stuff. Yeah, this is the room now, which we established since not even maybe a month now. And this will be our video room. And so you have a little DIY camera hanging possibility, and yeah, and then you can stand here and say like, hey, I'm playing whatever, and this is it. And we can make a video, but we're doing like, at the moment we wanted to establish 1 workshop per week. And it always starts with and it is always at Thursday. And it should always start with a little beginner's workshop, so that people who don't have much knowledge can even come and get a little introduction. What is a VCA? What is a VCF? What does an VCO is? How do I do my first patches? Small things, but easy enough that you can get in and that you're not overwhelmed when suddenly the first words coming and you're like, oh shit, I don't understand anything. So this is, yeah.
And the bigger ones will be streamed, or every workshop?
We will. We don't stream. I think every beginner's workshop, because that wouldn't make much sense. But when we have people in, like Mark Verbos a couple of weeks ago, who showed up with his new delay, or we had Stefan doing a workshop 2 weeks ago with video processing. So this will be streamed then.
Okay, and then found on the...
Then found on our Stromkult blog, but of course it always takes a bit, because we want to have the possibility to edit as well. So when we recognize there's something not happening for 15 minutes, because everyone starts like, oh, okay, it's so warm, we want to have a little beer outside or inside or whatever, then of course it makes sense to overlook it a bit.
And Stromkult is your personal blog?
Stromkult is Andreas' personal blog where he puts all the news on. Yeah.
So if there are some workshops and so you feel
if there are workshops, if there are now the trade show stuff is on it as well. Little extra news, sometimes even maybe something, I wouldn't say private, but it could be everything, you know, like. Okay. But we're not trying to overwhelm it, you know. It should be always be something interested or something what we think important to not just fulfill something, but to have something where you also say it makes sense to watch it and it's a value, and it's not just another thing because just you have a camera in the hand, because then that is something everyone can do. Meanwhile, too easy, you know, like So.
And can we also confirm already next year will be Superbooth again?
I hope so, but I'm not the man who is
So it will be announced.
in charge. Of course, yeah. It will be announced, and I don't know where, if, when. So this is something Andreas has to decide, and everyone has to decide what's coming. But of course, we would like it to happen, and we were, I think, very happy with the results coming from the Superbooth this year, last year, and the year before. But this year was another level on top, because it was a bit more huge than before. It was still very friendly. We had super luck with the weather. It was great for the people who could be outside, inside. We had nice response, and of course the community aspect was very intense, and we had lots of hopefully very happy manufacturers as well, who showed their stuff and could give us an impression what they're here and what they're doing, what they make for something like this.
For my watchers or watchers of this video, if they are now in Berlin in the next time, or where you can find it, or where to made it, because it's a bit complicated.
Yeah, it should be a bit complicated, because otherwise you would have everyone here, and not against everyone, but it's good that people coming who have an interest, because otherwise you would have people like, oh, it's a blinking light, so I'm coming there, and that doesn't make sense. So, because it makes sense for people who really are interested, who want to play something, who want to get question answered, and you couldn't do this if it would be another currywurst station on the planet, and reachable for everyone else. So I think it makes sense. Maybe by mistake, but it is a bit harder to find. But if people want to find us, we are directly at Cottbuser Tor. About the Rewe supermarket, formerly Kaiser, who maybe has been here a year before. So now changed. Now it's Rewe supermarket, and we are about this supermarket. And there is a little door in the entrance which is completely tagged, and the wall is completely tagged as well. And if you find this wall, you're right. Then you just have to ring, and we open you. And everything will be fine.
Okay. Thank you, Carlo.
Hey, have a good time.